is Yasmin Moftakar, and today I'm going to be taking you on a journey through my educational journey. The goal today is kind of take you from the very beginning and fill you in the steps that got me to where I am today, and hopefully to where I'm going to go in the future. From a young age, I always knew I was going to be a physician. I can't pinpoint it to a single moment or one single thing as to why I wanted to be a doctor, but I remember always loving to go see the pediatrician and knew that this is what I wanted to do with my life. What I didn't realize, though, was just how much I liked to teach. I think if I went back to my younger self now and told them that I would be getting a master's in education, they'd be extremely confused as to what path my life took, because I didn't realize that this was a passion of mine as well. When I think back on my educational journey, the first moment that really pops into my head is teaching my little brother how to ride a bicycle. I remember the two of us out in the cul-de-sac that we lived on a summer day and just trying and failing and trying and failing until he finally was able to do it. And I was so proud. When I was in the 10th grade, I remember starting to tutor a young girl who was in the 2nd grade. She was having a lot of difficulties in both reading and math, and twice a week I'd go to her house and we would work on these things. And I remember how satisfying and exciting it was to see how much she would improve over just such a short period of time. Then in my senior year of high school, I had the opportunity to work with our local community college where I would tutor adults and teach courses for getting their GED. This was such an interesting time for me because I was significantly younger than my students, but was teaching them things so that they could get their high school diploma. I then graduated high school and I was leaving for a BSMD program where I would get my undergraduate degree in 2 years with the plan to go straight into medical school in 4. This day was actually my high school graduation and also the night I moved into college. After I blinked once, 2 years of college was over and I went to Northeast Ohio Medical University. And this was probably the first time that I ever really struggled as a learner. I had always been a smart kid, but this is when I had to work so hard just to pass. Then I went to residency where me and 9 other co-residents were trying to figure out what it actually meant to be a doctor. We had learned all of these things in 4 years of medical school and realized that we actually hadn't learned a single thing that was useful. And I hit the ground running, trying to be the best doctor I could. But even in those times when I was figuring out my place in the world as a physician, I really did feel like something was missing. It wasn't enough for me to just go to the hospital every day, see patients, disposition them, and then come home. Something was missing. So I was feeling lost and unsatisfied. And I decided to reach out to some of my mentors to see what they do, what they thought about all of this, as I trusted them with my career, with my future. And I was told maybe I would like to teach something, and maybe that's what I needed to do. So I volunteered and took part in the LCSP program at Case Western, where first-year medical students would come in and shadow me and get to just learn the basics of being a doctor. And I quickly realized how much this meant to me. The shifts where I would have a student were shifts that I truly looked forward to. Then in my 3rd year of residency, I became a chief resident. Me and my 2 co-chiefs got an opportunity to really get involved in the educational aspect and the entire aspect, basically, of our residency. We were in charge of scheduling as well as creating curriculum content for our residents. This included 5 hours of lecture every single week for an entire year. And this was something that I was so excited about. I got to choose what topics were presented, which presenters would get to come, and if they weren't good enough lecturers, then they wouldn't come to us. And this was really something exciting for me. So then after residency, I decided to pursue a medical education and academic leadership fellowship. This was with the goal of becoming the best type of educator I could be. I told myself I wanted to teach, and I want to know how to teach well in order to be really good at it. So the MEPI program at CSU, among other different trainings and fellowships that I do within my 2-year fellowship, are there with the hopes of teaching me how to be a well-rounded educator for adult learners. And that is something that I'm truly passionate about. But the question is, where is this all taking me? I'm standing here with a year left of my fellowship and scratching my head, not quite sure what I want to do with it. How am I going to decide what the next step is and what I really want to do with my life? My big goal is to become a clerkship director in emergency medicine, where I get to work with medical students who are coming to the wards for the first time and helping them assimilate to this brand new environment and learn how to take the stuff that they took from the textbooks and apply it to their patients. But I think that the thing that I truly want out of all of this is to find this balance in my life. I want to be able to be a rock star physician, someone that my patients can trust to do the right thing. I want to be a great educator and teach my students and my learners, and just to be happy. So while my future may feel hazy, and I'm not quite certain as to what exactly my 5 or 10-year plan is going to look like, I've been able to set myself up for success with the choices that I have made and the paths that I've taken in this journey so far.